Expected here today. We're in the Bill Muncie Memorial Pits where the crowd is arriving. Let's go down to Dick Crippen with Bernie Little.
Bernie, let's talk about last week. Not the best of races for you, but you're back at it again.
Yeah, the crew got everything put back together real quickly. We spun out in Miami and cost us the final heat. We come here to Detroit and, as you've seen, set a new world record yesterday, 152.3 something. This Budweiser is running outstanding, and we've drawn the Circus in the first heat, and I think we're going to really see a fine boat race.
Well, Bernie, one thing about the Detroit River course, it is a racer's course, and finally you're on one that you don't have to be tricky with.
Yeah, you're right. Detroit River is probably one of the toughest courses on the circuit. You got some awful nice holes down there and across to the yacht club, and it takes a good driver to finish this race.
But one thing about the Detroit River, it's consistent.
It sure is. It's bad.
And he should know because he's been bitten here before. Oh boy, Alberto in Heat 1A will be driven by George Woods Jr. Chip Hanauer qualified 151.4 to drive the Circus. Here's a new sponsor for this boat, the Miss SUNDEK, driven by Ron Snyder. The fastest qualifier at 152.5, Jim Cropfield in Miss Budweiser. And rounding out the field will be the Miss D.O.C. Ray Band, driven by Mitch Evans. Weather looks pretty good, Dick.
It certainly does. 67-degree temperature, 59% humidity, wind southeast at 5, and mostly sunny. They expect temperatures to reach up into the 80s today. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. In lane 1 at Circus, lane 2 Miss Budweiser, D.O.C. Ray-Ban, and lane 3 SUNDEK, lane 4 Oh Boy Alberto, just a hair off the pace as they come down to the starting line. Circus is going to take control at the start.
As they come down to the Garwood starting line, across from Belle Isle, it's a leaping start for the Circus as he dives down to corner number 1 with the Budweiser right on his hip.
Chip Hanauer trying to hold that speed up high, takes a little bit of a wider turn than usual down in turn number 1 as he tries to continue in the leadership role for this first race of 1989 on the Detroit River. A good start for Chip Hanauer, but the Miss Budweiser just about 2 boat lengths off him as they come out of the turn onto the back stretch, and they are really punching the pedals.
This could be the smoothest part of the course because the Belle Isle Bathing Beach lets the waves dissipate on the sand and it does not roll back on the boats like it does down the front chute off of concrete barriers. But the point right now, coming to the Detroit Yacht Club, this is where the current splits to the Detroit side and to Windsor, Ontario, Canada side and can create some holes. But look at him hanging on the hook, Dick.
He certainly is. He's got the skid fin dug into the water and he gets a beautiful execution out of that turn. Chip Hanauer with a tremendous speed as he comes down back across the start-finish line. Miss Budweiser still pushing hard as they complete the first lap here on the Detroit River. Chip Hanauer doing a great job of driving. He's got his eye on the Miss Budweiser, and they are really battling it out as they go back into the turns again. 145.232 miles per hour.
That is a course record by the American Powerboat Association for competition on a 2.5-mile course.
And we might add in there a little description of that. That means competition against other boats. They have to have a certain amount of boats starting. That is a record speed, and the reason is this guy, because Jim Cropfield is pushing Circus around that course and forcing Chip Hanauer right there, as light as he's getting, to keep his foot on it.
This is the tightest part of this Detroit River course. It's shaped like an egg as we look at our third-place boat, Oh Boy Alberta, with George Woods coming down the back chute after getting a late start.
You've got to give him a lot of credit. This is a piston boat. It's a reciprocating engine. The 2 lead boats you see right there coming at you are turbine boats, and both of them are riding very light, an indication of tremendous speed, upwards of 190 miles an hour on the straights, 142 for Chip Hanauer. Again, better than 140 miles an hour. He is really pushing.
As we look at our 4th-place boat, it's the Miss D.O.C. Ray-Ban with Mitch Evans, and behind him, Miss SUNDEK with Ron Snyder. He's getting a rough ride too, Dick.
It certainly does. It appears that the SUNDEK is having a little bit of engine problem out there now. Good run for this boat. D.O.C. Ray-Ban is hanging in there. Consistency could pay off. Yep, there was problem. Ron Snyder dead in the water in the SUNDEK boat. That boat is still being worked on. Hopefully they can pull it around. But look at this boat. In contrast, a great ride by Chip Hanauer. He's coming out of the final turn now, down the final straight. He'll take the checkered flag this time around. Everybody on the shoreline giving him a great big welcome home. Chip Hanauer, winner of Heat 1A.
And he bested his heat lap competition record by 11 miles an hour. He set 134 plus back in 1984. Today, he bested that speed record by 11 miles an hour. Second place to Miss Budweiser, third to Old Boy Alberto. And now let's take a look at our scorecard after the first heat of action. This is the way they stand. Circus, Budweiser, Alberto, Miss D.O.C., and the SUNDEK did not finish. Let's go to Dick Crippen in the pits. Dick?
Well, Chip, that's got to feel pretty good to start the day in Detroit.
Well, you know, you just take them one at a time, and we just want to get into that final.
Chip, you know that this was going to be a battle right from the start, matching you up with a Miss Budweiser. You went out there, you obviously put your foot right in it going into turn number one, and you never let it out.
Well, you know, we're real tight on national points, and we'd like to win as many heats as we can without stretching the equipment. Again, the first priority is to win the race. Second priority is to national points. But we had an opportunity, and we'll take the points.
So you get out there and run it hard. Did you feel threatened, did it?
Oh, yeah. Jim was real fast, I think, especially those first 2 laps. I don't think I was moving away from him. So, yeah, whenever the Budweiser's out there, you're threatened.
Well, Chip, certainly your boat has been running just flawlessly so far in this race. Coming into this race, though, some of the boats had problems like the Winston Eagle. Jim Hendrick is down the pit with the owner of that boat.
In Steve Wimmer's camp, it says, well, it's never over until the Winston Eagle screams. But up until now, hasn't screamed very much. But in qualifying, looks like you might be ready on this one.
Oh, I think we're definitely ready today, Jim. Every time we've run here in the last week, it's gotten faster and better. And you know, yesterday we did some running on some rough water, and the boat ride's excellent. The Winston Eagle's definitely ready to go today.
And there she sits in the water with driver Larry Lauterbach ready to race. We'll be back as they take the course in Zenith Performance Corner, sponsored by Zenith Data Systems. Zenith innovates again.
New rule 1989, all boats must have a canopy. This is off an F-16 fighter plane. It protects the driver. It protects his office, if you will. Now, if the boat is upside down, like Scotty Pierce was in the Mr. Pringles last year, you come out the bottom end of the hatch. He has a breathing system, and he can also sustain breathing air until they can get to him. Also, the steering wheel down here is collapsible. Show him, Danny. All right, the steering wheel comes out. That gives him some room in this cockpit. He has a 5-point harness, and there's communications, right? You talk, Danny High, to your driver all the time when he's running.
Yeah, we try and keep Scott informed as to what's going on the race course, if there's a problem, also who might be around him, because with the canopy we've cut down a little bit of the visibility, but we try and keep him informed as to what's going on.
Do you think there could be any more improvements in a cockpit such as this?
Oh, we're learning all the time. We've made improvements since last year, and of course from our wreck we learned quite a bit, and we're continually improving the canopy, trying to make it safer. Everybody is here. Everybody's pretty safety conscious about what's going on.